All right, forget everything you think you know about productivity. We are not here for gentle suggestions or life hacks. This is a strategic briefing. The objective is simple, to give you a tactical framework for taking absolute control of your day.
So let's start by dismantling the primary weapon of self-sabotage that you're probably using every single day. Yep, I'm talking about your to-do list. It is not a tool for productivity. It is a scientifically proven method for generating stress.
Here's our operational sequence for today. First, we'll look at the graveyard of intentions, then the law of wasted effort. Third, we'll introduce our weapon system, the grid. Then we'll detail the execution protocol, cover the psychological payoff, and end with the ultimate strategic objective. So, pay attention.
Okay, our first objective is to neutralize the biggest threat, and that's the fundamental flaw in how you plan. You have to understand this. Most battles are lost before a single shot is even fired. And your day? It's really no different.
See, your to-do list is really just a collection of what psychologists call open loops. Every single unchecked item is an uncompleted task that your brain just can't let go of. This is a real thing. It's called the Zeigarnik Effect, and it means your list is actively programming your mind to worry. It creates this constant, low-grade hum of anxiety in the background. Wait, so you're telling me that list I make every morning, the one that's supposed to make me feel in control, it's actually designed to make me feel anxious? Precisely. It's just an inventory of everything you haven't done yet, and your brain literally punishes you for it. So here's the crucial difference. A to-do list, that's just a wish. It has no constraints, no anchor in reality. The grid, on the other hand, is a command. It operates in the finite, unforgiving reality of a 24-hour day. One creates anxiety, the other creates absolute clarity. Now, we have to understand the natural law that governs the battlefield of your day. And I need you to recognize this isn't some abstract theory. This is a force as real and as unforgiving as gravity. Okay, but this is something I never get. I'll have one big thing to do, like write a report. And in my head, I think, this should take 2 hours tops. But somehow, it just consumes my entire afternoon. Why does that happen? It happens because of this, Parkinson's Law. Just let that sink in for a second. Work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. You see, if you give a task 8 hours, your brain will instinctively make it complex enough to fill those 8 hours. The solution isn't to work harder or faster. The solution is to create what we call artificial scarcity. You give the task a ruthlessly small container of time. But knowing the enemy isn't enough. You need a weapon, and that brings us to our primary system, the grid. This is the tactical framework we're going to use to combat Parkinson's Law and finally contain the chaos of an unstructured day. So I want you to imagine your day is a container. A to-do list is like pouring water into it with no structure. It just sloshes around, spills everywhere, makes a mess. The grid gives you bricks. Each task is a brick. Each time slot is a specific location, and you cannot place 2 physical bricks in the same physical space at the same time. The exact same principle is true for your time. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. You're giving every single task a defined shape and a very specific place to go. Theory is totally useless without application. So now we move from the high-level strategy to the ground-level tactics. This is the execution protocol. Think of this as your official battle plan for the day. From now on, you will treat your time exactly like a CFO treats a budget. It's a method called zero-based budgeting. Every single minute has to be assigned a job. I mean it. Look at your calendar. If you see big blocks of empty space, that's not freedom. That is a vacuum, and chaos absolutely abhors a vacuum. And the protocol is very simple. Step 1, the skeleton. You block out all your non-negotiables: sleep, meals, commute. Step 2, deep work. You identify your single most critical task and assign it to your peak energy window. For most of us, that's in the morning. And step 3, buffer zones. You schedule blank space. Wait a second. Schedule blank space? That feels wrong. I mean, what's the point of planning everything if you're just leaving holes in it? That blank space isn't a hole. It's a designated impact zone. It's for the unexpected phone call from your boss, the sudden emergency, the task that runs a little long. You don't react to the interruption. You absorb it into the plan. You have to remember this. If you don't schedule chaos, chaos schedules you. You respond. You don't react. And this leads to a really counterintuitive psychological payoff. The most rigid, disciplined structures often create the greatest sense of freedom. And the reason for that is simple. You have eliminated decision fatigue. Think of it like this. The person who designed the plan, the grid, for today, that was yesterday you. Yesterday you was the strategist, the architect. They did all the difficult, high-level thinking when they were calm, objective, and clear-headed. Your only job as today you is to be the builder. You're the operator, the soldier on the ground. Your job is not to question the plan or debate the plan or have feelings about the plan. Your job is simply to execute the next command on the list.
But what if today me feels tired or just uninspired, or I suddenly think of a better way to do things? I mean, that's always the battle, right?
That is the insurgency of emotion against logic, and it must be suppressed. Which brings us to the operational mantra, the simple command you give yourself when you feel tired or distracted or unsure. The command from your strategist, from yesterday you, is simple. Shut up and lay the bricks. Just execute the next block on the calendar. That is your only mission.
All right, this brings us to our final briefing. We focused a lot on the mechanics of time, but that's really just the battlefield. The true strategic objective here, the real reason for this entire operation, it's something else entirely. I need you to understand this final directive. The grid is not a tool to manage time. Time is finite. It's going to pass no matter what you do. The grid is a weapon to manage and precisely direct your most valuable and most limited asset, your energy. By assigning your most critical tasks to your peak energy states, you are no longer just being efficient. You are being ruthlessly effective. So stop trying to manage the clock. Start managing your energy. That is the ultimate objective. That is how you win.